They said the best form of defense is to attack. How about deceit? We got street full of ugly cars, like bitches fluenting their thicker thighs, made of BBL. No wonder our modern cars are just getting thick as curvy fat dang AS made of BBL is not a surprise. Ugly cars, BBI, perfect match and recipe for wallet nuts bursting. I almost lost it there. Yeah, it's thicker than lies, gigantic elephant. Every year is another junk car with engines made of plastic and papers. My goodness, we're driving re-innovated cars for newer models. Hello, it's madness. Beautifully packaged like Kim Kardashian. It's such a shame our reality is played like a game. I thought we are alive playing script of being dead, but now I know it's quite the other way round. If we aren't dead, how can we prove that we are alive watching our very own lives shattered like a mirror and we choose to run or pretend it's okay than to confront the man in suit? Yeah, we're getting rubbed in a broad daylight corpse are watching but can't do a damn thing. With promises of endless lies without hope for relieving sight, we might sue them only to end up wasting the little they left us with after paying for taxes on products taxed. We'll still pay taxes to buy a taxed products, get arrested for not paying taxes for already taxed products that is taxed. Is this what you'll call life? Nah, I think life is better living paradise in Wakanda. Sure they know it. That's why they have to frustrate the African leaders with democracy. Now every African leader is crazily demonstrating, using their citizens as scapegoat except the Sahel. The romantic affairs with the big automotive and politicians is the devil in black suit trying to cage us all for easy control, until this African genius cracked the code, something the West will never see coming. Like Blast, they don't believe it will become a reality. Now they are plotting how to do the dirty best they are good at. Yo, I am Dr. Cool, Wakanda Genius are waking up. And I am one of the rebellion, heading like a hypersonic missile against the established norms, the status quo. If you have problems of become free from the chains and shackles you called latest technology matrix, you don't need to watch my videos or subscribe to my channel, because I will be stirring every inch of you one piece at a time, fragments by fragments, until you are free to unleash the real potential that lies within you that has been crippled, with uncomfortable truth that will tear you apart to create the better version of your current self. What if I told you that your old classic vintage cars or superbike is about to get a second chance at a fraction cost to become more efficient than this day? Mortgage problems bagged with torrents of problems. This is the path. The past becomes the future. This is not a fantasy or fake reality freak shows you watch on your Discovery Family Chanel. No, the real change will not be mainstreamed, as it often come brutally aggressive to relegate your new junk technologies into relics of the past. You know what? Forget Silicon Valley. Forget Tesla. The new player in town is set to cook Western automotive industries and their shenanigans. He not white-skinned or Asian. I'm sorry to disappoint you again in the most lovely way. Be my guest, he is from Wakanda. The future of transportation isn't coming from some sterile lab. It's coming from a dusty workshop in Kenya. Meet Peter Mbiria, a mechanical genius who's about to turn the auto industry on its head. He's not about to cook automotive industry because he's already cooking and roasting the big automotive industries. All your favorite brands have their own collective agreement to plunge you into perpetual roller coaster of unending problems, engine breakdowns, transmission, electric nightmare, range anxiety. The bucket list goes on. The reality is stranger than fiction. As you know, devil got many names, but the savior is always silently, and that silently means violence that resonates with the consumers. Because these are the true innovators solving our commonly shared problems. This isn't about electric dreams or self-driving fantasies. This is about real power, real performance, and a whole lot of heart. Mbiria has cracked the code, and the dinosaurs in Detroit better watch out. Let's be honest, modern cars are rubbish. In older models, cars, wood, papers, plastics, fiber aren't part of critical engine components. These dash we have beautifully sculptured car enough to make Beyoncé jealous with terrible paint selections enough to shut Kylie Jenner down. Don't even get me started with taking customers for a fool for far too long. That we now take renovated cars as new models, simply change the headlight or tail. Now it's a new model, same old garbage engines with slightly changes enough to make James Bond throw up with turbo thicker than Kimberly and Kim Kardashian tyres combined that won't last a quarter mile. Olga, leave me a break from the new bucket list of spec sheet that's running out of papers to print on diapers. Plastic fantastic on the outside, electronic nightmare on the inside. They're built to break down, forcing you back to the dealership with your wallet open wide. Ever tried to fix a modern engine? It's like performing brain surgery on a gnat. Sensors, computers, and enough wiring to circle the globe. It's enough to make a grown man weep. And don't even get me started on the repair costs. These cars are designed to be disposable. They're milk cartons on wheels meant to be used up and tossed aside. And the worst part, they're robbing us blind in the process. Modern cars and superbikes are just typical broilers on wheels, while old cars are just more stronger than local chicken that knows no weather conditions. Remember when cars were built to last? When a car was an investment, not a liability? Those days are long gone, thanks to the greedy corporations that call the shots. They've systematically destroyed the art of engineering, replacing it with cheap materials and planned obsolescence. They want you to buy a new car every few years, filling their coffers while our roads are clogged with disposable junk. It's a scam, plain and simple. They've turned a symbol of freedom and adventure into a symbol of consumerism and waste. But there's hope yet. Here is one of the clips from Peter Mbiria that's blowing internet out of proportion.
Hello guys, Peter Mbiria here. Now this is the guinea pig that I started with doing the conversions. And you've seen on my channel that I've been doing carburetor to EFI conversions. Doesn't matter whether it's a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, a V8 right here. But now it's about to get a lot better. Here we have a 1980s motorbike. It's a V4. Had 4 carburetors. And now it's running on Voltarent ECU. And that's how it starts. Start. Love that sound. Now the ECU can run even a motorbike. Yeah, looks chaotic. All this will be arranged pretty well, but yes, it's running. Another rev for those who love the sound. Oh, stalled. Damn, I love that sound. It's Peter Mbiria Minor, and I'm a vehicle enthusiast with a background in electrical and electronics engineering, and I've done mechanical engineering all of my life. My company's name is Voltarent Engineering Limited. You can see Voltarent ECU. You can see the ECU right there. Using on the road.
So there's a custom built ECU?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Having the background of electrical and electronics engineering, one of the things we learn in class is production of PCBs or printed circuit boards. And in my case, I took it seriously because I knew in the future I'd be doing a lot of circuit designs. So I know more about how to design circuits. What we have here is W124. This vehicle is Mercedes-Benz W124. And it came here running this fuel distributor. It's called KJ-Tronic from Bosch. Fuel distributor. It's the successor of the carburetor. You can see the mechanical fuel injectors right here. And then I removed the original distributor. There's the distributor cap. Removed all that. And then installed the Voltarent ECU. You can see the harness, we were just running a test. So it has now coil-on plugs. It no longer has the single coil. It has the fuel injectors on the side, custom fuel rail. And this is to make the engine run economical and also get power at the same time. So this engine becomes modernized and it performs like a today's modern engine. In my case, I use Arduino DUE. It's pretty powerful. And why I use it is because on my firmware that I wrote again from scratch, it uses mathematical formulas to derive fuel parameters and ignition angle parameters. So it has to be doing mathematical calculations in nanoseconds. Even microseconds is big, nanoseconds. So it had to have a board that is capable enough to do calculations that fast and that precise. This is the W111, probably a 1965 Mercedes-Benz. You can see it, very beautiful. It's running an M190 engine. You can see the modifications, fuel rail, throttle bodies, column plugs. Now, let me make it start as is. There's a procedure. Down here. Oh my goodness, down here. The pump needs to be pressurized. Okay, now, I run back here. On my laptop, I need to see some data. Alright, let's start it. Come here and start. Just like that. Engine is running pretty well. No tuning done yet. You can see the dual throttle body. If I accelerate, man. Beauty, 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 beauty.
So what is the main advantage of converting from carburetor to EFI?
So there are many advantages, but the one that majority will notice almost immediately is increased in performance. You get, of course, better fuel economy, you get reliability, and even issues associated to carburetors like hard starts, overflows, and reliability. You have to keep on resetting them from time to time. Those are things that you will forget. This is the legendary 190E Mercedes-Benz. That's how it starts. You can see the drive mode right there. You can see the comfort. You can go economy. There's the knob right here and communicates with the ECU. If I want to overtake, I go to comfort.
It's more facade than obvious perception and misconception as to why the Western folks who thinks they know it all but just won't get it done and make it available affordable at fraction of cost. Let's take a deeper look at what Peter Mbiria is doing, because this isn't your regular retrofitting. Most people will be quick to dismiss it as a mere upgrade, but this is system re-engineering. He's breathing new life into old engines, be it your vintage superbike with a carburetor or your old-school gas-guzzling V8 monster, by making them run efficiently using a custom-engineered ECU. Yes, efficiently, and at a fraction of the cost of replacing the entire system. Now here's the catch. The big auto facade today says, newer engines are faster, but guess what? They're only built to last the quarter mile. Old engines? They were built like the Earth, meant to last generations. And here's something they don't want to talk about. Most older motorcycles with CV carburetors are fuel-drinking beasts. I've got 3 just sitting idle, parked not because they're dead, but because they burn fuel like jet engines. And trying to tune a CV carb? That's black magic. No 2 mechanics will agree on the method. The air-fuel mixture screw? Rocket science. Manuals? Western automakers never left you one. Why? Because they don't want your classic to live again. If parts or EFI solutions were easily available for older models, you wouldn't bother buying their overpriced, short-lived new models. That's not an accident. That's a business strategy dressed as innovation. Now let's talk money. Go price out a custom ECU from any big-name tech company. You'll pay more than your whole bike is worth. And even then, you can't just plug it in and expect magic. You need real engineering. You need to decode your engine's soul. Camshaft and crankshaft sensors, coolant temp, throttle position, MAP or MF sensors. These aren't just plug and play. They require deep calibration and coding. Peter Mbiria solved that nightmare. Yet I keep hearing folks, mostly white engineers, dismissing it as just an aftermarket ECU install. Really? Then go ahead. Gamble your engine, burn your pocket, lose your stake. Let's see how far your plug and play gets you. This isn't retrofitting. This is resurrection. Peter Mbiria is giving your classic its breath back. He's not just fighting fuel inefficiency. He's challenging an industry built on obsolescence. In this fertile ground of dreams, a young mind dared to challenge the ordinary.
Like phase 1, sequentially, meaning it can drive each individual cylinder on its own. Man, this thing is a beast. And then if I was to drive a bigger engine like a V12, it can run a V12, but in batch, meaning it can run 2 cylinders at the same time, meaning there will be wasted spark. Okay, when one is making power, one is doing exhaust, so that is wasted because that spark is not doing any work. Okay, so up to a V12 or an inline 12 is, if there is, up to a V8. So that's the difference. This is the 124 that I was doing, EFI from FD. This is the Voltarent ECU right there. And so let's see how it starts. That's how it starts. So let me show you the engine bay. Let me just open. That's how the engine looks like. The engine is running right now. If I rev it a bit. It's more than happy to rev. And everything is working as expected.
Talk to us about the cost estimate of converting a vehicle from the carburetor to EFI.
Now, the cost varies based on the number of cylinders an engine has. Majority, they have 4 cylinders, but of course we have 6, 8, 10, 12, isn't it? But now for a 4-cylinder carbureted engine, the cost for conversion is roughly 1,160 USD, give or take a couple of dollars, based on the specifics of that engine, but that's about it for a 4-cylinder. When you go for a 6-cylinder, they range from 1,360 to 1,500 USD for converting a 6-cylinder engine. Why that big gap? is because that you'll find a 6-cylinder that has mechanical fuel injection that is completely different as compared to the one that had dual carburetors. So the dual carburetors one will be more expensive as opposed to the one that had mechanical fuel injection. And same goes to a V8. V8 now will be close to 1,600 USD to 1,800 USD. Again, was it carbureted or was it fuel injected? So if it was fuel injected, whether mechanical or electrical with the first generation ECUs, then it would be a lot cheaper. Well, to be cheaper as compared to the one that had maybe a wholly wholly carburetor or just a carburetor running on it. So those are the figures.
And you can set the conversion kit across the world?
Yes, we can custom make a kit specifically for a specific engine, and then we can ship it out.
So the customer just needs to tell you the specific engine?
Yes. And if needs be, then we can actually even request for some of the components like a distributor and all, and then we can modify them and install them.
Tell us about the return on investment once somebody has their vehicle transformed.
Okay, so it depends, and I say that because some vehicles are able to drive here, meaning at least they are on the road, only that the consumption could be pretty high. Okay, I've had there's one Range Rover I had here that was doing 2 kilometers a liter. Okay, but by the time it was leaving, it was doing 5.5 to 7 kilometers a liter, and that's a V8 3.9 liter. Okay, I've had a 2 liter doing 5 kilometers a liter. Okay, and we're talking of a vehicle that I released a few weeks ago. It's right now it's doing 10 kilometers a liter. That's double. Okay, so it means that per kilometer it has added 5 kilometers, meaning that if the owner really uses his car on a daily basis and covers roughly 50 to 100 kilometers, we're talking of very few months, as few as 3 to 4 months, will have already recouped his investment on the conversion. And that's a vehicle that was moving. Now I have other vehicles that came on flatbed. Okay, they are not even moving at all. So we're talking of vehicles that got new life. They never had like any prior details on fuel consumption. These are vehicles that came on a flatbed. So we find that some takes less than a month to actually recoup the investment, some a couple of months, based on how much they use their vehicles. But the change is felt on the fuel consumption. Yes, but immediately you'll notice per liter. I'm not talking of per full tank, per liter. Majority are noticing 3+ kilometers improvement added per liter. Which it's a lot if you are to say per tank, because like even the Benz I did recently that added 5 kilometers per liter, it means that per full tank of 50 liters, that's 250 kilometers added, just like that.
It's simply spectacular how he marvelously cooked the automotive industries. Can you guess how much automotive industry will charge to build such retrofitting that turns your old superbikes or car into more better than new ones? Let me help you, mate. It will cost you more than your 2 kidneys. This isn't because it's hard or too difficult to engineer, or that it uses rare heaven metal or material. No, it's a strategic concept to force people into buying junk at outrageous prices. Peter's upgrade is unlike anything ever seen in the past decades. In reality, this genius is doing what the big automotive industries should be doing. However, when the love affairs with their company politicians get stronger and thicker than Kardashian thighs, customers are often at the mercy of their stampede. They don't make them like they used to, and thank heavens for that. Classic cars and bikes are more than just vehicles, they're works of art. Built with passion and an attention to detail that's vanished from the modern world. They're built to be driven, to be fixed, to be cherished. They're a testament to a time when things were built to last. The roar of a V8 engine, the feel of a solid steel frame between your legs. It's an experience that simply can't be replicated by some soulless electric contraption. These machines are part of our history, our culture, and it's time we fought to keep them alive. Enter Peter Mbiria, a man on a mission to save the classics. His invention? Well, it's a revolutionary clean energy conversion system that breathes new life into old engines. It's simple, it's affordable, and honestly, it outperforms anything the big boys are churning out. Forget electric. This is about harnessing the soul of a classic engine and propelling it into the future. Mbiria's system isn't just about saving money on fuel, it's about sticking it to the man. It's about proving that you don't need a fancy degree and a billion-dollar corporation to change the world. All you need is passion, ingenuity, and, you know, a wrench in hand. Section 6, David versus Goliath, classic muscle trumps modern gimmicks. Imagine a world where a 1969 Mustang could, well, blow the doors off a Tesla, where a vintage Triumph motorcycle could outmaneuver any plastic scooter on the market. That's the world Peter Mbiria is building, one classic engine at a time. His system proves that power and performance aren't about fancy technology or aerodynamic designs, they're about raw, unadulterated engineering. Mbiria's invention is, quite frankly, a slap in the face of the industry giants who told us that bigger, faster, more complex was the only way forward. It's a reminder that sometimes the old ways are best. Section 7, my trusty steed, a tale of two wheels and timeless engineering. I've owned my fair share of vehicles over the years, supercars, luxury saloons, you name it. But the one I keep coming back to, my trusty old Norton Commando. This bike has seen it all, mud, rain, even the occasional kangaroo. It's been dropped, dented and ridden hard, but you know what? It's never let me down. Try getting that kind of loyalty from a modern bike. They're all about fancy electronics and fragile fairings. One scratch and they're ready for the scrap heap. Give me a machine built with steel, sweat and a healthy dose of grease any day. Section 8, power to the people, Mbiria's middle finger to the industry. Peter Mbiria's invention isn't just about cars and bikes, it's about taking back control, it's about empowering everyday people to keep their beloved classics on the road, free from the clutches of greedy corporations and their disposable products. It's about saying no to planned obsolescence and yes to a future where things are built to last. This is a movement, a revolution fueled by grease, passion and a love for the open road. It's a movement that's gaining momentum and it's time we all got on board. Section 9, join the revolution, keep the classics alive. So what are you waiting for? Dust off that old car in your garage, get that vintage bike out of storage. Peter Mbiria has given us the tools to fight back to keep the spirit of classic motoring alive. Support innovators like Mbiria, spread the word. Tell the world that we won't be forced into their disposable future. The road ahead is long, but together we can keep the dream alive. We can keep the classics on the road where they belong. We can tell the corporations to shove their planned obsolescence where the sun don't shine. Long live the classics, long live the revolution.